Welcome to another Tuesday training. This is a team prosperity training that we do every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We go through different parts of our business model, different components, as well as other things to help you with professional growth and development. Before we get into today's training, we always like to revisit and review what we did last week. Last week was a complement to this training that we're going to go through today. It was the agent advantage. It was mastering the agent advantage and how to build your business in an effective way. And once again, if you can learn how to do this and then you can digest it and then put it out there and help other people coach, mentor, train, support other people to do this, that's how you build distribution. So last week was the agent advantage. And this week we're going to talk about the playbook. This is the playbook to build this business. We're going to equip you with the tools, strategies, and mindset needed to make your time period, your quarter, your year, however you're looking at it, the most successful period yet. This training will focus on understanding the markets, balancing both sides of the business, managing agencies with a focus on using that debt to wealth system and using proven methods to drive growth. This playbook is designed to let you and your agents go back, revisit, stop, write down stuff. There's a lot of good stuff on here that you guys can revisit, and it will really help you build your business. The key objectives today for this training: we want to understand market strategies for all the markets. We want to learn how the partner and client sides fuel business growth and how they complement each other and how we pivot from one side to the next. We also want to cover and make sure we master time management, prioritization of income producing activities. That's IPAs. If you don't have IPAs going on, you have no income. If you have no income, you have no business that's worth showing up for. You're not going to be very motivated if you're not making money. And then also a key objective for today's training is implement agency growth strategies like using the MMA account as a lead generator, and then finally adopt the virtual assembly line method for collaboration. Not everybody's good at everything. Not everybody wants to do everything. That's why the virtual assembly line allows people to gravitate towards what they want to specialize in, but also get the help they need. And we also want to make sure that the stuff that you don't want to do, don't have the time to do, you don't know how to do, that you can still build a business because we got people to fill in those holes. So let's kick it off today. Marketing in various markets. We've gone over the markets before. This is probably nothing new if you've been around for a while, but understanding, revisiting, and making sure that you dive into each of these markets with an effective strategy is very important. Just like we tell our clients, you can't have a one-legged retirement stool, can't have a one-legged lead generation stool. It's not going to hold up and mark the test of time. So the warm market. Your warm market approach, your objective is just to leverage the trust and relationships that you already have to start meaningful conversations, not to pitch, sell, recruit these people. It's to leverage that trust and relationships to get the conversation started and to back that up with mission-based perspectives about why we do what it is that we're doing. The strategy here is that warm markets consist of people that you already know or who know of you through mutual connections. The key is to keep the approach relational and non-transactional. You don't want to go, totally different approach than the cold market. The warm market is going to leverage existing relationships, and all you're doing is asking for help or asking for opinions. Your warm market should be willing to help you, should be more than glad to give you their opinions. If you structure it correctly, should open the floodgates for conversations and cycles of communication in your warm market. So an example: hi, I'm working on something that I'm really excited about in financial education, teaching people to convert debt to wealth. I'd love to get your opinions and thoughts on how this could help people. Can we chat? Asking for an opinion, asking for help, why it works. It engages the person without making them feel pressured while positioning you as an expert seeking their input. You're asking for help, asking for their opinions, doing so in a non-threatening way that allows you to set up a time and a place to get the information over with the preface: I want your opinion, I want your help. That's exactly what you're going to ask for. However, through the process, what's going to happen? They're going to get the information. They're going to get the education. So it's all in how you structure your communication and conversations in terms of how you're going to create leads or not create leads in each one of the markets. Engaging conversations. So when you look at when you look at how we open up conversations, how we continue conversations, how we direct conversations, that's our whole entire business. So if I'm talking to somebody in the warm market, you've seen how we've helped others. I'd love to show you how this could benefit you or someone you know. Who comes to mind? Notice we're not talking about them. We did mention them in the conversation, but who comes to mind? Could be them, could be somebody else. Use this language to gently request referrals without being pushy. Referrals is an art form. Communication is an art form. Once you guys master these things, and it's not going to be overnight, you're going to find your business starts to grow at a much more rapid pace. And this is going to be dependent on the number of conversations that you have. If you have a lot of conversations happening, you're going to get through this learning curve very quickly. If you have very few, it's going to take you a long time. You may never get through the learning curve because you may never get to that point in time. Tools for the warm market. The warm market is not something, it's a misconception in our industry where you make that list coming in and you try to contact these people where you have no idea what you're talking about. That's not what the warm market is. The warm market is, yes, you have those relationships, but you also have the walk of life. And it's an ongoing process. So personal referrals. Set up a system to ask for introductions regularly. If you're not asking for introductions, if you're not setting people up as spheres of influence that can help you build your business, then you're missing out on a great opportunity to organically build leads that will be interested in what you're talking about. Local networking events, share your mission. Remember, the warm market is about the mission. Everybody can tell you what they do. Most people can tell you how they do it. Not many people can tell you why they do it. When you get people to buy into your mission of what you're trying to do, it's a lot easier to take them to the next action step, take them to the next cycle of communication. Think about if you were drawing circles, think about right outside the warm market as the common market. What is the common market? It's people that you don't know, but you've got some type of loose affiliation or connection with. What does that buy? It buys usually 60, 90 seconds, 120 seconds, whatever it might be, a minute or two. That's really all you need. So you're bridging over with some loose affiliation. The objective here is to build connections with semi-familiar audiences and find shared interests. These are people that do the same things that you do, go to the same places that you go to, have gone to the same places you've gone to, like schools and things. The strategy here is the common market includes acquaintances, community groups, and extended networks. You want to use an approachable yet professional tone here. The common market, once again, like the warm market, is going to be led with the why. Hey, this is why we're doing this. When people buy into your why and buy into you, the rest of everything that comes afterwards is going to be listened to more intently than just spilling out information that nobody listens to and nobody cares about. Starting the conversation in the warm market, you're using association or links that you guys have in common. So, hi, I noticed we're both part of whatever group, organization, whatever it might be. That's the link. That's the bridge that's going to build you the time. Oh, yeah, I am a member of that group or organization. So now you've got that loose affiliation. You've got that brief connection. It's going to buy you that limited period of time. You hop right on the mission. I'm on a mission to help families eliminate debt and build wealth. I think it could really benefit people in our community. Would you like to learn more? Pretty non-threatening, guys. Really what you're looking for is people interested in what you're talking about. It's not your job to manufacture the interest. It's your job to identify the interest. So if you sit there and somebody's not interested in what you're talking about and you keep talking, you're wasting their time and your time. Move on to somebody who is interested in what you're talking about. Why does this approach work? It engages the person without making them feel pressured while positioning you as an expert seeking their input. You have to shift to the mission. If you start with sales like or recruiting like language and communication, especially nowadays with technology, social media, and everything, people can sniff through that. So the work I'm doing helps people take control of their finances. I love to share how it might help you or someone in your circle. That's it. Free information, free how-to guides, free one-on-ones, free discovery calls, whatever it might be. Connect their needs or concerns to the solution you provide. It's not a product that you guys provide. That is just something that's baked into the solution. The solution is what you're actually providing. What is the solution? It's an answer to the problem. It's a way to get to their goals. It's something, but most of the time, what you're doing as an entrepreneur is you're solving your own problems, your partner's problems, and your client's problems. If you can learn to be good at solving problems, you're going to be off to the races. So what are some tools for the common markets? Well, you will have to learn how to be a networker. And that's events, that's attending workshops, parent groups, meetups to create connection. If you have school age kids, then guess what? The people that you're attending those parent groups or the school events have similar age kids. So if you get a message to them that resonates with where they are in the life cycle and what they need to concentrate on in the financial plan, it's going to work a lot better. This is about developing personas, developing messages for that persona that has them raising their hand, say, yeah, I want that how-to guide. I want that masterclass. I want that discovery call. Flyers or community boards, whether it be physical, digital, it doesn't really matter. Distribute value pack content that positions you as a trusted resource. Remember, that bottom of the pyramid is trust, rapport, credibility. Once you establish that, you just open the lane in the conversation to let them talk. They're going to give you information that uncovers a problem that you have a solution and an action step for. Social media strategies. Social media is something that you guys, the biggest mistake that you make in social media is trying to be a master of all the platforms and you master none of them. Stick to one, stick to two, learn those platforms. And as you start getting results from that platform and understanding the algorithm, move to something else. But don't just throw yourself across all the platforms and get zero results. That's working hard, not smart. So social media strategy, you want to use these digital platforms to reach and engage specific personas, not everybody. We're not casting this huge blanket. We're identifying specific personas, creating messages that resonate with that persona, finding out where those personas are online or offline, getting in front of them. The strategy here is to focus your efforts on creating personas, posting relevant content, connecting with your audience, and starting meaningful conversations that convert. You build, engage, and sell. You have to build your audience every day. You have to engage your audience most every day. And you have to sell to specific parts of your audience at the right time, at the right point, with the right proposition. If you're going to build an audience and never give them any value, never give them any engagement, just pitch, sell, recruit, you're going to find your audience becomes, numb to what you say and then won't react to anything. Define your target audience, whether it be homeowners, parents, professionals, retirees, whatever it might be. You're going to get diversification through the agency build out. Don't worry about that. You hone in on one lane and dominate that lane. It's going to be a lot easier for you guys to build this business. Use tools like pools or surveys or questionnaires to understand their pain points. People like to give you their opinions. People like to, if you ask for it, they'll give you their opinions about multiple things in a survey. Use these things that work in the open marketplace to develop cycles of communication where you're creating leads and then creating conversations with those leads that do what? Just resolve the lead. No hidden pre-agendas, create and resolve leads. That's all you're talking about. All you want to do through that process, you are going to find what you're looking for. Out of some of those outcomes, there'll be yes, there'll be no. There'll be yeses that produce revenue, income, growth, referrals, all the stuff that you're looking for. So on Facebook, hi, I saw your comment on a specific post or topic. I specialize in helping families with financial strategies to convert debt to wealth. Would you like to learn more? Would you like free access? Would you like the free how-to guide? Whatever it might be. Remember, value-based propositions. You're doing one thing on the front side. Try to give somebody something where they'll exchange their contact information for whatever it is, and make sure whatever you're giving away has value, because they're going to feel cheated if they put in their name, email address, and phone, and what you provide on the back end absolutely sucks. LinkedIn, hi, I noticed your profile in whatever industry, community, group, whatever it might be. I love to connect and share a proven strategy to help people eliminate debt while simultaneously building wealth. So you're going to find your own messages. You're going to find your own personas. That's going to be unique to you. What I tell you guys, if you're going into a room full of 100 people and you have to talk to these people, if it's a cocktail party or something, who is it? What are the people? Why are those type of people? And develop your business around connecting with those people. Cold market. People think that the cold market is something they want to avoid. I actually love the cold market, guys. I would much rather deal with the cold market sometimes than the other markets, because I can position myself in a certain way. So the objective in the cold market strategy is to approach unfamiliar audiences with professionalism and value. Once again, no matter where it is, no matter what market it is, we're leading with value. And that value is going to create buying decisions instead of selling people stuff. And that creates a whole lot on the back end that you wouldn't get from selling them something. The strategy here in the cold market, it requires credibility, clear communication, compelling offer to engage prospects who, may not know you at all. So hi, I'm with Biz to Biz, United Financial Freedom, Money Money, whatever your brand is, or whatever you're representing. We specialize in financial strategies that eliminate debt quickly and create lasting wealth. Let's connect to see how this might help you or someone you know. This might not be right for you, but I'm reaching out to share a free Convert Debt to Wealth education class that's helped others achieve financial freedom. Could we schedule a quick call to discuss how it could possibly help you? Once again, these people aren't interested. Don't spend time with non-interested parties. Move to people that are interested. If somebody's willing to learn, that's somebody that you want to help. If somebody's unwilling to learn, that's somebody either on the partner or the client side you want to cut loose as soon as possible. Tools for the cold market, cold emails. And it's not about the first email. Somebody doesn't know you, probably about the fifth, sixth, or seventh email, you're going to start to get some type of reply, some type of opt-in, whatever it might be. Focus on value, continuous value over hard selling. Lead magnets, we've got a ton of them, offer free resources like financial calculators, reports to draw the interest and do what? Create the lead. Take them from a prospect to a lead by offering something of value and getting that contact information. Now you've got ways to communicate with them and you've got something to talk about when you communicate with them next. And then paid advertising, target specific demographics through Facebook ads or Google ads to generate qualified leads. Build your persona, build your messages, identify where that persona is, go find them, and just repeat over and over and over again. This next part of the training, you guys, is for you guys to kind of revisit, but I'm not going to go through word for all these. Your exercise is building your action plan. You want to identify a market, you want to draft a message, you want to plan activities for the war market, for the common market,
directions there. This update is brought to you by ZeroCancer.org.
For all the markets, for the warm market, for common market, for social media, for cold markets. There's not an argument about which market is better. You want to use all the markets because they all have value and they can produce prospects, leads, clients, and partners for you. And then share and reflect. If you guys are working in smaller groups, you have your agencies that you're building, discuss your draft plan with the group to refine messaging and tactics. It's not going to be perfect in the beginning. What is your ideal goal in the beginning? Is to test it. Does it work? Does it not work? If it works, continue. If it doesn't work, don't change everything at one time. Maybe it's one or two words that you want to change and see if that opens the floodgates. Daily activity list. This is what you're doing. Content creating, posting, engagement, outreach, ad review. So create or share a post, post educational content, success stories, brand awareness, promotional offers, respond, outreach, check the performance. Do not spend money on paid advertisements if you have no idea what you're doing. Please, you're just going to waste your money. That would be like stepping up at the craps table or the blackjack table and not understanding the rules of the game, just throwing money around. If you don't understand what you're doing, start organically first, teach it, let the lessons not be so costly, and then go into the paid advertising market. So this is what you want to do, and this is what you want to concentrate on your marketing activities. Build brand awareness and attract leads, and then maintain relationships and provide excellent service. Your clients don't end when you sell them a product. Your partners don't end when they come into your agency. Recruiting is about 90 days after that. Depending on what products and services you're getting in front of the clients, you're coaching them. So make sure you're staying in front of your clients. Make sure you're staying in front of your partners. Don't send them on a desert island where they feel once they sign the dotted line or whipped out their credit card to pay for something that you abandon them. Make sure they understand you're with them, you're here to help them, and you're available because our average client buys about 3 things from us, and our average partner builds multiple lanes of distribution with us. When you look at lead generation activities, when you're looking at the warm market, just, if you say, hey, I'm going to call everybody on my warm market list, you're probably not going to do that. If you say, hey, I'm going to reach out to two personal contacts to ask for referrals or opinions, that's going to be something when you look at the activity that you can actually get accomplished and feel good about doing that. And then you can ramp it up. Maybe a week later, you ramp it up to 4 or 5, whatever it might be. If you start too big, like putting too much weight on the bar, if you haven't been to the gym in a while, you're not going to be able to lift it. You're not going to be able to lift up that phone if you've got too big of a goal there. So start small and then throw the fuel in the fire. Social cold market, same thing. Start small, get it accomplished, get into the habit and the routine of getting this stuff done. That builds self-confidence, and then you'll be able to do more and more and more. And guys, if you're going to create leads and you're not going to follow up, you might as well not create the lead in the first place, because most of the sales are going to be done in the interaction of follow up. Most of the recruiting will be done in the interaction of follow up. If you're not following up, you're leaving business on the table. It's going to fall through those cracks. That's growth, that's revenue, that's income, that's distribution, that's equity that you're just leaving out there. You can get far ahead of your competition in this company, in this industry, and beyond by just learning to do effective follow up. Recruiting activities. Notice there's not hundreds here. Call just a few potential recruits to discuss the opportunity. Once you get used to what you say and how you say it, you work on your inflection points, and more importantly, you work on the questions to ask the other side to get them talking. This is very, very easy. You're just sorting people. Follow up or host and invite. So remember, some people will create a lead, like for a partner. Maybe you don't have a conversation, the timing's not right, but by having them on that list and constantly inviting them to things, teaching them, educating them, giving them lead magnets, value-based propositions, maybe sometime down the road, weeks or months down the road, you're going to get in front of them at the right time where they're ready to make a change or ready to get active on the platform. If you didn't get in front of them on that day, they're probably not going to remember, or this probably not going to trigger in their brain, oh yeah, I need to call Mike. I need to get started with this. And then online activity. You need to get involved in groups and forums. You need to get, crazy with email marketing and CRM updates. If you look at your day every day and you sit down and say, what should I do today? You've already failed for that day. You need to have it planned out. You need to have your markets aligned. You need to have your persona. You need to have your messages, and you need to have your activity, kind of like a checklist. And when you get to that end of that checklist, you should feel, hey, today was a productive day. I did what I was supposed to do. I feel good about today versus, I had no checklist. I didn't do anything today. I feel bad about my being unproductive. And now I'm going to make excuses for myself and justify why this might not be for me. Communication, you're looking at strengthening relationships and driving action. So what I'm giving you guys with the playbook, I know it's kind of wordy here. I don't usually do this type of training, but I want it to be something that you guys can go back to, and your agents and your partners can go back to and really learn how to create a playbook for success. Strengthening relationships and driving action can create new sales. It can create new referrals. It can do a lot from client communication, partner communication, and personalizing those messages to the appropriate parties. Business growth activities. You have to have IPAs. That's at the top of the list. If you're not doing enough income producing activities every day, you're going to find that you don't have enough income coming in to really motivate and inspire you to really scale this out to where you know it can be. So make sure the IPAs are there. Make sure you're spending time on training and development. Now, training and development is important. Should it go and be tiered above IPAs? No, because you can train and develop and meeting yourself into the poorhouse. You've got to have income producing activities, and you've got to have goals. You got to have measurement. You got to have reflection. Hey, this is what I was attempting to do. This is how close I got to it. How can I next time, next cycle, get over the top, get up to the top of the mountain, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Sample daily activity breakdown. The more you can organize your day, the more you will get out of your day. The more you don't organize your day, the less you will get out of your day. And if you don't organize your day, you'll find all of a sudden 5, 6, 7 rolls around. What did I do today? Oh, yeah, I did this or did this. But you're going to find out the more structure that you can bring into your professional and your personal life, the more you will be able to reach your goals and create a framework where you, by fixing yourself, can fix other people, coach and mentor. And that's agency development. That's distribution. That takes you from a 6-figure income to a 7-figure income. Once again, I'm not going to read all this stuff, guys, but this is how you organize your day. This is how you teach agents to organize your day. In the morning, you're reviewing and planning for the day. You organize your CRM and outreach list. You're preparing for social media engagement. You're starting to prospect. You want to do the things in the meat of the day where you can't do it at night or in the early morning. I can't call people at night or in the early morning. So I need to make sure I get that done when I can get it done. The other stuff, the bookends on the stuff I can get done outside normal business activity. So prospecting, following up, preparing for discovery calls. These are all mid-morning activities. Midday, client checkups, partner collaboration. Make sure that you're not sitting in a chair for hours and hours and hours. Get up, go exercise, take a lunch break, walk around, do whatever it is that you need to do so that when you get back in that chair, back in front of that desk, that you bring energy, intensity, aggressiveness, so that the time blocks that you do spend on your business are valuable blocks. And then lead generation. Remember, you are creating leads and resolving leads, creating leads and resolving leads. If you do that volley back and forth over and over and over again, you're going to find what you're looking for. Afternoon, maybe I'm making some recruiting calls, discovery calls, or consultations, things that are on my calendar. And then in the evening, I'm starting to reflect on the day, close on the day, figure out what went right, what didn't go right, and make sure that I go into the next day better prepared. CRM updates, review progress. This is really what you're doing. Outcome expectations. You want to generate 5 to 10 new leads every day. If you do that, that's a good leading indicator that we can help you build this business. And then out of the leads, you want to start identifying the real prospects that you can help that want to be helped, and then close at least 1 or 2 of those discovery calls per day. What is a discovery call? It's making sure you're talking to the right person, they're talking to the right person, and you're getting the information over to get them to the next action step, whether it's a savings report, IUL presentation, whatever it might be. Make sure everything you do, the text, the email, the call, they all have objectives or goal. Why am I texting this person? What do I want to come out of this? Why am I emailing this person? Why am I calling this person? If you know what you want out of each action step and you get that, the flow of communication is a lot easier and profitable. Maintain strong relationships with 2 or 3 clients and partners daily. Remember, don't send them out and never talk to them again. And then contribute to consistent agency growth by onboarding 1 to 2 new clients or partners weekly. It's not a business that's based on bringing in thousands and thousands of people. It's that slow, consistent, methodical growth that's going to get you where you want to go. Dual sides of the business. You guys need to volley both sides, the partner, the client. Why is that? Because it's a lot easier to talk about putting money in somebody's pocket than taking it out. So when you start with the partner conversation and you don't go in with any pre-hidden agendas about what's going to come out of that, you can be fluid and you can say, maybe they're captive or maybe there's something in the conversation that we can't bring them as a partner. We'll switch to the client side. So the client and partner conversation can be very fluid and go back and forth. You need to understand the roles, and you need to understand the revenue drivers and referral sources that are going to give you the best end outcomes for your business. How they fuel each other, the symbiotic relationships. Partners introduce clients, clients become advocates or partners, clients can become partners, partners can become clients. It's all about one thing: conversation and communication. If you learn to talk about your business with excitement, it's not going to be exciting about every day. You're not going to find the same excitement about your business, but every day you should find something exciting about your business and relay that out to the open marketplace. You want to have practical integration strategies. So you want to balance both partners and clients coming in, create a weekly split. Don't be that chameleon where you try to blend into each and every conversation. Split your day. Don't go back and forth too much. Be in the moment of what I'm trying to accomplish, talking to clients or talking to partners, and then at the appropriate place, switch the day, go on to the other side. Oh, right here, write down 2 actions that you want to take. Think about your current efforts. Identify 2 ways you can improve the integration of partner and client strategies. Once you understand how closely integrated and how those lanes kind of parallel each other, it's a lot easier to build your business. The Money Max account, the debt to wealth program that we have, the simple and proven 2-step process, is great for lead generation. Why is that? Because if you're talking about insurance or you're talking about a retirement, you're trying to give somebody something that they probably need. However, they can walk away, and most of the time they're going to turn their back. If you get in front of them and address something they already have, like debt that they have to get rid of that's become a burden, now they can't shy away from it. Now they can't walk away from it. They have to address it. So, front end lead generation, when you identify something that is a burden that you'll help get rid of, once again, it doesn't matter how the partner or how the client comes into our ecosystem, they're going to get, introduced to everything we have to offer on the client or the partner side. And then back in monetization, what's the purpose, benefits, and practical application of getting this set up? How does it all integrate? How does it all complement each other? And really, what's going to be the best course of action and framework for you as the agent to build your business? Because we're not going to all want to do the same thing. We're not going to all have the same personas, same approaches, same value-based propositions, but we all should have the same grit, consistency, and effort, regardless of what markets we're going after. Monetization of traffic. So what you need to do is successfully manage traffic generated through different types of campaigns. If you're setting up debt to wealth campaigns, what are the action steps? How are you going to monetize it? What's the flow of communication, the flow of monetization efforts that you're going to do? If you host a webinar, what's the call to action? The people that don't take the call to action, what's the follow-up to get those people either to say, I don't want any more information from you or opt out, or to get on the calendar for the next action step? You guys can use like a proven process, just like the simple and proven process we have to convert debt to wealth. You can have a simple and proven process to take, your prospects to leads and your leads to clients. The initial engagement, it's deepening the relationships, expanding the services. Once I get a client in the mix of what we're doing, all I'm doing is by further educating and coaching them, I'm introducing other ways that they could potentially get better parts of their financial plan taken care of. It's not, hey, let me sell you this, let me show you this, let me introduce this. Hey, if we did this, it would do that. Does that make sense? Do you want to look at that? So systemize lead generation, segment your leads, nurture relationships, and upsell strategically. This is how you manage and monetize your traffic. Once again, systemize your lead generation, understand where your leads are coming from, segment those leads, identify potential clients, partners, hybrid opportunities early in the funnel process, and then nurture. Just like you need to engage your audience, you need to nurture your relationships, and then you need to upsell strategically. Time introductions to additional products or services that will once again not just make you money, but help them in their financial plan. Designing a traffic monetization plan objective. This is all about just really helping you guys create a simple action plan for monetizing traffic generated through things like the Money Max account or a debt to wealth system. By leveraging this thing, whether it be the system itself or the tool that we use for lead generation, agents can create steady flow of new prospects, build trust and credibility through education, big part of what we do. Maximize the revenue by seamlessly transitioning clients into how high value products and partnerships, and then establish a sustainable business model with scalable growth opportunities. Time blocking is going to be one of the most important things that you can do. If you learn to time block your day effectively, you're going to, beat yourself, you're going to beat your internal, external competition, and your agency build out will be robust because if you can teach other agents how to effectively time block, organization and time management is the agent's two biggest things they have to come up and fight. If they can overcome those two things, they've got a good chance of success in our industry. Tools to support daily prioritization, CRM, digital calendars, to-do lists. What do I have to do? What's on my calendar? What do I need to get done? And how do I organize it? Common pitfalls to avoid: over planning without action. So this is common in our industry. I need to learn all about the products, all about the marketing, all about everything instead of actually executing. Facebook had a motto early on: move fast and break stuff. That's what I want you guys to do. Jump in the deep end to learn how to swim. Don't walk in the shallow end. You're going to learn much more from the activity than you ever could from wasting your time on preparation. Too much preparation and planning is just a veiled way to procrastinate, having to do the things that you don't want to do, which is the activity and execution. Inconsistent follow-up. If you're not methodical in your follow-up, you're going to find that your business is going to be hurting. And then lack of prioritization. What do I need to get done? Do I need to make that social media post? Yeah. Do I need to follow up with the leads that I created yesterday? Yes. What's most important? The second thing, if you tier your things on what's most important to the least important, yes, you need to get all this stuff done. But if you tier it and get the most important stuff done and you don't get the other stuff done, still a good day. If you don't tier and you don't do any of the stuff that you were supposed to get done, all the uncomfortable growth things, then you're not really going to have anything to show for your day, your week, your month, or your year. This exercise can help you envision a productive day based on high value activities. So think about your current routine. What's working for you? Where are you losing time? List 3 to 5 IPAs, that's the income producing activities you'll prioritize, and then time block it. When am I going to get it done to make sure that you actually get it done? If you don't time block something like, hey, if I have to make these 5 calls, and it's weighing down on me and I don't want to do those 5 calls and I don't block it and I don't have a specific time to do it, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to keep kicking the can down the road. All of a sudden it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's too late to do it now. I'll do it tomorrow. You'll go through that same cycle. Before you know it, those leads are so stale, they have absolutely no value. And then create monthly targets for you guys, for yourself, for your agency, for whatever it is that you're building. Agency growth goal, individual growth goals. If you can bring in 10 clients and 10 partners per month on an agency level, of which you are doing 30% of that, 3 clients and 3 partners, you will build production, you will build agency distribution. If your agency growth is falling short because you're not doing what you need to, it's got a lot of negative ripple effects because you're not getting the agency growth. And then the agency is looking at you for leadership. If you're not getting done what you should be getting done, they're not going to want to follow somebody who's not following through on what they said they were going to do. And the practical breakdown, weekly, daily, what are we doing? How are we going to do it? And how are we going to measure if we got it done or not? CRM systems, scoreboards, accountability systems. We do the 12-week year. Most people hate accountability because it is the glue that connects everything together. If you're not accountable to yourself, your clients, or your partners, it's not going to work, guys. When you instill accountability, when you have purpose and accountability in your business, you're going to find that you're going to have a much greater, much more robust growth, income, revenue than somebody that has no purpose and has no accountability in their professional, personal development, or agency development. So understand what you're trying to do, understand what you need to do to get there, and then measure it and reflect what went right, what went wrong, how do I correct these things going forward. The virtual assembly line allows you guys to be successful in a way that you wouldn't have had before. What does that mean? Well, it means that you can gravitate towards what you want to specialize in, but you can also grow into those other roles, but you're not forced to. You're not boxed in where we say, hey, you can't do that, but you're also not forced to do that. So the stuff you don't know how to do, you don't have time to do, you don't want to do, we'll fill in the holes. Marketers, managers, and consultants or educators, whatever you want to call them, we all work together for the benefit of the partners and the clients. So if we're doing a good job and we're getting the best people in front of the clients, the prospects, the partners at the right time to give them the best information, the best delivery, it's a win-win-win for everybody involved. Smart goals, you guys have heard about SMART goals your entire professional life. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. These will help you. If you don't put, Elon Musk said, if you give yourself 30 days to clean your room, it's going to take you 30 days. If you give yourself 30 minutes, it's going to take 30 minutes. So understand that you are the accelerator pedal and your brain is going to love to do whatever it's continuously doing. If it's bad habits or it's good habits, brain doesn't care. It's going to want to continue down that road. You need to set it on a good path. And then performance measurement, key metrics to track. What are you tracking? You don't have to track everything, but what are the key metrics that you need to track? What are the most important things that you need to do on a daily basis that you think will reach your goals? And in case you're wondering what those are, it's everything that you don't want to do. That's the most uncomfortable stuff to do. So reflection activity, write this stuff down. Did you hit it? If you hit it, how did it feel to reach your goal? If you didn't hit it, why didn't you reach your goal? And what are you going to do next time to make sure you get there? All this business is doing is a rinse and repeat. You're setting goals, you're making plans, you're getting to work, you're sticking to it. What does sticking to it mean? That's the grit. That's the consistency that most people never adopt and adapt into their business. And if you can do that over time, remember, people don't reach the Hall of Fame by having good one great season. They reach the Hall of Fame by having a number of great seasons. If you can put this together over a number of months and over a number of years, to get to a certain level of distribution, you can back yourself out of the equation and everything will still run accordingly, which means that you don't have to actively be in your business to make the money that your business is producing for you. Hope you guys got some value from this. Like I said, there's a lot of words and a lot of information in this training. It's designed that way so you guys can go back, pick it off, review it, and decide what's valuable and what's not valuable for you right now.